them to just a short game.
From the 32-yard line now, here's 2nd and 5. They'll run with the former 7th-round draft pick, Isaiah Pacheco. Still keeping the plates moving, somehow managing to turn that into a gain.
He does a nice job coming from his safety position, filling his run gap assignment, and keeps this to a modest gain at best.
It's 3rd and 4. Pistol formation with Jackson. And that is incomplete.
Remember what they told us, Mike, leading up to this game. They said it is so critical for us to find success, especially on 3rd down. We want to maintain possession, extend these drives. Well, the first crack comes up and they fail through the air, and we'll have to regroup and be able to have better success throughout the remainder of this game.
That's a nice job of making things more manageable for this offense as he takes it back beyond the 25-yard line. Here on 1st down. Open man is Bateman. He's got him. He'll be taken down rather swiftly after a gain of just 3.
It's now 2nd and 6 at the 30-yard line.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's 2nd and 6. Here's a first carry for their running back. He'll get this ahead, gain of about 4, and it leads to 3rd down.
And while that run wasn't anything really to write home about, what it allows them to do, Mike, is keep everything in the playbook at their disposal. 3rd and short, now it's up to these coaches to dial up their best short yardage play and extend this drive.
The RPO, one is complete. A gain of 11 on that one. 1st down, Cowboys.
These 3rd down conversions are just so important, Mike. Everybody stresses we want to possess the ball, give our offense as much opportunity to end as many drives as we can, scoring points. If you want to stay on the field, you better be good on 3rd down.
1st and 10. Play action now. It's Nix. Oh, and a short throw there, but it's going to end up incomplete. That's a pass he say he should have had. Instead, he does not, and it brings up 2nd down.
And it was really the pressure that threw that play off, Mike. I mean, he tries to counter the blitz by going to the quick game, which is fine, but it just seemed like they weren't necessarily on the same page and results in a drop.
Now a give on the ground. Down the side. The ball comes out. And fortunately, this is going to get out of bounds. So no turnover, and it's actually going to wind up a 1st down. Well, a big play there, and maybe a big break, too. The ball going out of bounds so they keep possession and keep a little bit of this momentum going, Greg.
We see this across the league so much now, Mike. Defenders are getting so good at ripping that ball out. Unfortunately for them, in this case, they got the ball out, but it ended up going out of bounds.
First carry now for Jaden Blue. And they bring him down inside the 25-yard line. Give him 10 more on that one. Just enough for another first down.
Really nice explosive play there on the ground. And tell you what, for these fans sitting in the stadium, they're not used to seeing their home team pushed around. So continue to be physical at the line of scrimmage. Mix in the runs with the pass. And if they can continue to generate these big explosive runs, I don't think they need to go away from it.
Throwing off his back foot, and it's taken in. And he's going to be brought down just outside the 10-yard line. Give them a dozen yards on that one and give them first and goal.
They've done a nice job spreading the ball around. Make the defense have to account for as many different weapons as possible here early. And think back to our conversation with this coaching staff, Mike. They identified this guy.
Oh, the blitz gets there quickly, and down he goes.
6 yards. And second down and goal.
Here we go. First down was not very good. Here's second and goal. To throw is Nix. He's got it at the 3.
So think back to earlier in the week, Mike, and they told us they want to get him going here early and often. So I'd expect plenty of passes to head his way as this game unfolds.
Line of scrimmage, the 3. Third and goal. Now Nick's going to look to throw. That's going to be intercepted in the end zone. And he's going to be taken down, but a nice return up past the 35-yard line.
It's not often, Mike, that everything breaks right for this type of return off of an interception. But, boy, is it beautiful when it does. I mean, look at the defenders just flip around and become blockers, trying to spring their guy to the house. Great athleticism, some great moves on his part. I mean, he's going to have some of his offensive teammates looking over their shoulder for their position.
That's a gain of 21 to open this drive.
So every team practices this on both sides of the ball. They call it sudden change. So in this case, the offense takes the field quickly following the defensive takeaway, and now you want to get off to a fast start, generate a quick play, and spark your possession, and it's exactly what they're able to do here, picking up that first down.
A give here to Pacheco. A gain of 4 as he's taken down.
Tackle made at the 38-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup. Second and 6.
So, not much to speak of in terms of scoring in that first quarter of play. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. We'll be back in Baltimore after this. From the 38 now, here's second and 6. Here's a toss to Pacheco. And he'll be out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 12 there. Good for a Raven first down.
And these are the explosive runs that open everything up. There's all this conversation about the value of the run game, but when you take a look at the best running teams, Mike, it's not necessarily how many yards they run for, it's how many big plays do they generate on the ground. And when you can generate big plays on the ground, it makes everything so much more difficult for the defense.
Here's first and 10. Now it's Jackson. Throwing it right into the hands of his running back. And he's going to be shoved out of bounds after a gain of only a couple.
At the 24-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup. It's second and
8. From the 24 now, here's second and 8. On the carry, it's Pacheco. And he'll get maybe about 4 yards out of that one. Lane closed quickly. Here comes third down.
A gain of 4 brings up 3rd and 4.
Hey, Ozzy! Come on! What are you? That's up!
From the gun, Jackson. That is caught at the 3. And he'll be taken down. We have a chance for the first points of this game as they've set up 1st and goal.
1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
You are X.
Pacheco. And looked like he might have had a lane, but the defense closed quickly. He did not get in. 2nd down.
Play leads to 2nd and goal.
Yo.
Come on, big play. Run it in for the 6. Run it in.
Hey, report.
Check this guy.
One more time with Pacheco. Now Pacheco loses the football. And the defense has come up with it. Not only no points, but they turn it over deep in their own territory. Boy, that one hurts, Greg. They had a really nice drive going and moved it halfway down the field, but then fumbled down here in the red zone, and the defense comes up with a turnover.
Anytime you put together a drive of this length, Mike, you just want to come away with points. Of course, a touchdown is the main goal, but in this case, to turn the ball over this deep in the red zone is just a brutal turn of events for this offense.
2nd down and 8. And now the Cowboys going to take a timeout, and they'll get together prior to this 2nd down play. They'll throw. It's Nix. Pushed out to his left. Escaping the danger, throwing and completing. They're going to get this all the way up close to the 40-yard line. A big play after being backed up. 33 yards. So from the 39, they come up on 1st and 10. They'll go play action with Nix. And that keeps him ahead of schedule. That's a 1st down completion of 7 yards.
Great example of 1st down efficiency. You don't always have to go for the big play, but put yourself in a friendly 2nd down. Now you have equal opportunity to both run and pass.
2nd down. Nix. Out to his right. He'll get rid of it and complete it. And they finally catch up with him, but it's a big play, taking it into the red zone. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Here's Nix to throw. And the Cowboys are going to be set up for 1st and goal. He is down at the 6.
Man, they're just running this 2-minute drill to complete perfection. It's such a point of emphasis of every offense, Mike. These end-of-half scenarios.
And he gets out wide. He'll go to the end zone. Touchdown, Dallas. 1st touchdown of the game for the NFL's leader in rushing TDs. Aubrey, good with the extra point. Cowboys will take a 7-0 lead.
Brandon Aubrey to kick off for the Cowboys.
So now, after the touchdown, out is Aubrey to kick this one away. This returnable from the 4. And he'll bring it out to the 22-yard line. That's where the offense will take the field.
At their own 22-yard line.
Let's go. No, we changed it.
On play action, here's Jackson. Taking off, and it'll be marked out up at the 34-yard line. He'll get a dozen out of that one, scrambling his way to a first down.
First down.
Mike, this is the element to the position that this guy brings that's just so unique across the league. Not only the speed, but his ability to operate in the open field as a runner. It is hard for a defense to plan for a guy like this.
Lamar going to work from the pistol. And that is going nowhere in a hurry. Finally taken down well behind the line.
They just desperately need to get something positive going here, Mike. It just feels like they're a play away from really jump-starting everything they've talked about being good at throughout the course of the week's prep. And it's really been the inability to sustain drives. So critical third downs, better on first and second. Somewhere it's got to pop, and somebody's got to make a play. I think he knew in the back of his head, Mike, he had to get rid of this ball a little sooner than he would have liked. And with that pressure getting there in a hurry, just ends up being a wasted down.
Third and a long way to go. In the shotgun, here's Jackson. That's caught. It's Isaiah Pacheco. He's going to be brought down very close to that line to gain. They're going to mark him just a bit short. And now it's fourth down.
I think this is one of those plays that when the ball carrier watches this back in the film room tomorrow, he's going to be a little frustrated with himself. If he could just have made that one guy miss, he picks up the first down. Instead, he gets brought down short of the sticks. And now they got a fourth down decision to make.
And a pretty good result there. That's out of bounds right at the 10-yard line.
At their own 10-yard line.
And this defense plays it beautifully. They knock him back to the 7.
So everything this defense talks about, Mike, is creating negative plays. It's one of the best run defenses in football. Everything is about suffocating you at the line of scrimmage, make you work for everything you get.
They motion a receiver right. On second down, it's Nix. He'll get this out wide. Trying to at least get back to the line of scrimmage, but doesn't do it. That's a loss of a yard and leading to third down.
The quick passing game in the NFL, Mike, is so dependent on yards after the catch. You got to generate space with the scheme, and then it's up to the receiver to do the rest. In this case, nice job defensively, because this guy couldn't even get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Off the the play fake. Here's Nix. Deep ball for Bateman. That is brought in. And he'll be taken down up past the 40-yard line.
That's good for Cowboys. First down. 38 yards on the play.
Off the play fake. He'll look to throw. In trouble, and he's going to be taken down. And now a timeout. 7 seconds left in this first half.
To play in the NFL, you've got to have a short-term memory, because regardless of whether the previous play was good or bad, they're going to line up and snap it again. And in this case, really nice job bouncing back. They put the bad play behind them, forced the sack in the ensuing play, and they're right back on track.
Now, a second down throw for Nix. He's going to run out of time. They get to him and bring him down. So, we're at halftime, and Greg and I will be back right after this. It's the National Football League on EA Sports. Just that one touchdown on the board. 7-0 the score as the third quarter begins. And that one is through the back of the end zone. It is a touchback. From the 35, it's 1st and 10. On play action, he'll set up to throw. He'll be hit as he throws, and that one will wind up incomplete. Could not step into the throw that time. It'll bring up second down.
They got there in a hurry, didn't they, Mike? I mean, luckily for him, he saw that free rusher coming, and at the very least was able to get that ball out to prevent the sack.
This one complete to Bateman. Nice work after the catch. He stopped a little short of the first down marker, but it is a pickup of 9.
It seemed like the receiver, Mike, ran through like 5 different open zones, but once he found the one that he liked, where the quarterback was expecting him, you see him do a nice job throttling down, secures the catch, and he's able to pick up a nice game.
And that one shut down pretty quickly. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. Nothing more.
Take anything away from the quarterback here, Mike. He did a nice job picking up that first down, but this play is won or lost by the big guys up front. They're the ones who need to get off the snap on time, get leverage on the defender, and create the space needed for the quarterback to pick up the first down.
Down the sideline, past the 40. A terrific run there, all the way down to the 30-yard line. They get 24 on that one. That's good for a Dallas first down. They'll stay on the ground. And this takes him into the red zone. He's brought down inside the 20-yard line. Good run after a good run. This one for 14 yards and another first down. Ball down to the 16-yard line. And it's 1st and 10. They're going to motion the tight end over here. Quick throw, taken in. And they'll get him down inside the 5-yard line. It's 1st and goal coming up.
There's been a really good drive so far, but what I really like, Mike, is they're down here in the red zone, and they continue to attack. Now, not quite a touchdown, but with 1st and goal, this defense certainly has their back against the ropes.
Ball sitting on the 3. It is 1st down and goal. They'll try to run this one in. A second effort, and he is in. Touchdown, Cowboys. 2 more touchdowns for him here. Now 19 for the year. The extra point by Aubrey is good. And the Cowboys move out on top, 14-0. So now, after the touchdown, out is Aubrey to kick this one away. This taken in at the 8-yard line. Get across the 20, mark them at the 22-yard line.
At their own 22-yard line.
It's a 3 tight end look as they have it 1st and 10. The drive begins with a run by Pacheco. And a good show of force there. He gets 4 tough yards out of that one.
A gain of 4. It's now 2nd and 6 at the 26-yard line.
Second down and 6 now from the 26.
Hey, report.
Pistol formation with Jackson. Little short pass here, caught by his tight end. And he's going to be taken down at the 37. Just his first catch. They have held him in check so far. That one gives him a 1st down. Line of scrimmage is the 37-yard line for 1st and 10. Jackson looking to throw. He'll drop this underneath to Pacheco. He'll be taken down rather swiftly after a gain of just 3.
2nd and 6 at the 41-yard line.
Jackson now on 2nd down. That's going to be incomplete. Covered very good there. Contact jarring the ball loose. And it's going to force 3rd down. To the air one more time with Jackson. That's over the middle and intercepted. Picked off by their rookie 2nd-rounder. And his offense is going to be all set up with a short field and a chance to extend their lead.
I think anytime you find yourself trailing in the second half, Mike, all offensive play callers fight the urge to chase those points. They tend to get a little bit over-eager. They tend to push the envelope sometimes a little too far. Those turnovers, they only make the deficit grow, not shrink. Now, there's a lot of football left, Mike. They can still get back into this. They just have to be a little bit smarter about which risks you're willing to take.
At the 46-yard line, a gain of a yard brings up 2nd and 9.
From the 46, here's 2nd and 9. A give. Here comes Blue. This defense all over this one. They get him down behind the line. It's a loss of a couple.
He sniffed that one out from the jump. I mean, once he diagnosed and knew where the ball was going, he got there in a hurry, and he put an end to that play really before it ever got started.
It is 3rd and long. In motion is Warren. Going to get to him and take him down, take him back to the other side of midfield. Nnamdi Madubuike, he gets in to record his 3rd sack of the afternoon. On 4th down, here's Brandon Aubrey for the Cowboy field goal try. Wow, this from an even 70 yards away. And that is good! A record breaker! 63 yards stood forever, but the new barrier has been reached. A 70-yard field goal made. Back out is Brandon Aubrey. He had the field goal a moment ago, and now he'll send this one away. This fielded at about the 9. And he'll be taken down on the return on what will be the final play of this third quarter.
Ready?
They go 3 tight ends here on 1st and 10. Here's Pacheco. He gets the fourth quarter going. And they'll bring him down, but not until he gets to the 38-yard line. They get 11 and quickly pick up the first down.
The ability to be effective on first down, Mike, it just makes everything else easier. In the event you do have to face a third down the road, they're usually a lot more manageable situations, a lot easier to convert.
On 1st and 10, Jackson. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield. That's 11 yards again, 2 plays in a row. And another first down.
And this is a tricky part of the game for any defense. You find yourself protecting a late lead, and the age-old question is, do you remain aggressive? Do you try to just keep the ball from being thrown over your head and make everything be tackled and played in front of you? That's what every defensive coordinator struggles with, so they can't get too soft here as they try to hold on to this lead here late. Solid rep there for this corner, Mike. I mean, to stay disciplined with his technique throughout the entire play. So often we see when the ball's put in the air, the defender can panic and they either get a pass interference or they misplay the ball. This time he times it perfectly and forces the incompletion.
They'll look to pick this up 3rd and a yard. Again, it's Jackson. He's got his man. Right side, it's complete. And it looks like he's going to have a first down. Nothing fancy there. A short completion, but it yields a fresh set of downs.
Really just comes down to everybody understanding the situation. You realize, how many yards do I need to get for the first down? And just make sure at least one of my receivers is past the sticks. That's where he went with the ball. They're able to convert.
And he'll try to use that size and push forward, but it will not work. They're going to get him down behind the line. Last play went the wrong way. It sets up 2nd and long. It's 2nd down and 12. And he's going to be dropped after a pickup of about 5.
This pitch and catch may have looked routine, but I promise you, Mike, these types of anticipatory throws, especially outside the numbers, they don't occur without countless reps, oftentimes when nobody's even watching.
On 3rd down, Jackson. Short pass taken in by the tight end. He's going to have that first down, gain of 6, as they convert on 3rd down.
This has been a really impressive drive, Mike, really from the start. And this is something defenses want to force offenses to do. Methodically work their way down the field. But they've been highly efficient, and now they get another first down.
Jackson up top again. He'll swing one out wide to Pacheco. They'll get about 4 here as he is taken down.
Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 23-yard line.
2nd down, Jackson. Oh, in trouble, and down he goes. Work to do following the sack. It is 3rd and long.
It's now 3rd down.
From the gun, Jackson. That's into the hands of Tucker. He's got it. And he'll be out of bounds down at the 15-yard line. That is well done there, converting on 3rd and 15.
15-yard line.
Alpha, sit on. 180. Sit on. 180. What is it?
Jackson now to throw on 1st down. Quick throw here is complete. And he's going to be marked out of bounds dozen yards on that one and give them first and goal.
180. Get hot. 180. Get hot.
Here's Jackson. This one is pulled in on the feet and bounds. Yes! Touchdown, Baltimore. That is first touchdown this year. Well, Greg, the light's still on way down at the end of the tunnel here. They are climbing back into this one with that touchdown here in the fourth quarter.
And they have a tall task ahead of them, Mike, but they have a chance. I mean, we've seen stranger things happen. They got a two-possession game here late. They're going to need a couple stops, and they're going to need a couple things to bounce their way.
Makes the score Cowboys 17, Ravens 7.
This one not quite over, but down a couple of scores. We're going to get an onside kick. The kickoff unit is out there, and they'll send this one away.
Late in the game, this is where you see teams really start taking some chances. And boy, this was a big one, but it's not going to work out.
They'll begin here on the ground. And not much there. He's back to the original line. No gain on that one. Now the Ravens use their first timeout, and they'll get together prior to the second down play. Going back in the backfield. They'll get the carry here. So 2 minutes left to play in the second half. Greg and I back on EA Sports after this. You've got to consider this an absolute must-stop defensively. It's third down. They'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete.
I think he predetermined that third down throw. And even though the coverage was tight, he still tried to fit the ball in there anyway, and it ended up falling incomplete. I think if he goes through his progressions and has a little bit more trust in his protection, I think there's an easier throw to make out there.
On for the field goal now, it's Brandon Aubrey. This a yard short of the record from 65 yards out. That one's on target, and it is good from the other side of midfield. One of the longest field goals in NFL history. Back out is Brandon Aubrey at the field goal a moment ago, and now he'll send this one away. A return now from the 4. Here's first and 10.
Get hot. Get hot. Get hot.
In the shotgun, here's Jackson. He's going to air this one out inside the 30. And they are not going to catch up to him. He will score. 83 yards. Touchdown, Baltimore.
Well, that was step one. The offense did their job, get this thing back within one possession, so they're still alive. But now they've got to find a way to get a little bit of luck and find a way to get the ball back, and it's not going to be easy.
Makes the score Cowboys 20, Ravens 14.
A one-score game late. You figure they got to have this one as they'll try an onside kick. The kickoff unit is out there, and they'll send this one away.
All right, good effort, just doesn't work out, but it's not over. Remember, they still got 2 timeouts in their back pocket. They've got to use them quickly. They've got to get 3 stops, force a punt, and see what happens when the offense gets the ball.
No turn in hand, this one off. And they bring him down, but not until they get inside the 30-yard line. It's a pickup of 13 yards. First down, Cowboys.
This is the moment in the game, Mike, where it really matters to have a run game. You find yourself winning here late. You want to try to run the clock out and finish with the ball. And boy, do they ever. Give credit to this offensive line and running back. They came through when their team needed them the most.
Right back to him on first down. And he's going to be taken down. Not so easy this time. They drop him back behind the line. It's second down. Now a timeout here by Baltimore. It's going to be their second. The stoppage comes just over a minute to play in this one. Here's a 2nd and 12. They'll stick with him again. And he's going to be out of bounds, but they are in the red zone, inside the 20. Call it a gain of 13. That's good for a Dallas first down.
13 yards. First down, Cowboys.
Back to the ground. He'll get it again. And a hard-earned yard as he ran through one would-be tackler. It's second down. The Ravens now going to use their final timeout. They get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining here in the fourth. Here's a 2nd and 9. Now a handoff, running right. He'll dodge one would-be tackler. We'll wind up getting a nice gain of 6 on the play.
And he has been a handful to deal with throughout this entire contest, Mike. And they came into the game saying, we want to impose our will on the defense, and that's exactly what they've been able to do.
Victory formation, defense powerless to stop. And that should just about do it. So it's a win here for the visiting Cowboys. And this long winning streak showing no sign of slowing down. They put one more in the win column with yet another solid performance here. So that'll do it for us. For Greg Olsen and our terrific team behind the scenes, I'm Mike Tirico. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. Follow us on X at EA.